Divorce was always an option, not murder. No matter how many witnesses Scott Peterson's lawyers call on his behalf, they may not be able to overcome the emotional testimony. Those were the words of Laci Peterson's mother, Sharon Rocha, on the stand. Scott's mother is now the defense's last chance to appeal for their client's life as she takes the stand later today. Are Peterson's attorneys helping their client with all of this testimony, or are they hurting him? Joining us now, criminal defense attorney David Wohl, who is in Los Angeles, former federal prosecutor, now mayor of Englewood, New Jersey, a lovely town, Michael Widles, and Fox News legal analyst Bob Massey is in Redwood City. And it's good to talk to all three of you. And Bob, let me ask you first, how quickly do you think that we're going to hear from Jackie Peterson? When is she going to speak later today?
Rick, they said yesterday there's probably 4 or 5 witnesses that are left today, and obviously we don't know how quick the other witnesses will be. So far, in the last couple of days, I think they did like 11 witnesses in one morning the other day on Monday. So I suspect that her testimony will be sometime maybe later this morning or right after lunch. If that's the case, you would think she'll probably be on for a good hour, maybe an hour and a half at the most. And as a result, she's going to be the one we think that's going to affect the jury the most. Of course, Mr. Peterson did also.
David Wohl, tell us about the job that Jackie Peterson has today when she gets up on the stand.
Well, it's critical, Rick. Let me tell you, Jackie Peterson, however, is the ultimate double-edged sword. She's going to be emotional. She's going to be impactful. This is her son they're trying to put to death. However, if she slips from that type of testimony over to testimony indicating that it's her belief this is an unlawful, unjust conviction, like everybody knows she believes it is, that could turn the jury off very, very quickly and turn the jury against her and her son. Now remember, this is the same Jackie Peterson in the guilt phase testified that she basically assisted Scott in the great escape that he was attempting before the law enforcement officers nabbed him in San Diego. Now, of course, in California also, you have to remember, based on the death penalty logjam, the irony of this whole thing is that Jackie and Lee Peterson will likely be gone long before Scott's ever put to death.
You're talking about the appeal process and how long something like that could last as we take a look at Jackie Peterson there. Michael Wild, a double-edged sword. Does she help her son, or might she hurt him?
I think that we have to pull the lens back, if you would, on the whole landscape here. It's very important that this process be structural integrity, so to say. It should be secure. We have to remind ourselves that justice is impassionate. And despite the fact that he showed no callousness, that he showed no remorse on this heinous crime, we have to make sure that we bend over backwards to make sure that this process is integral, because it will be appealed. This whole scenario that we have here might actually make an appellate court. And if anybody steps out of line, if any witness isn't given a fair opportunity to speak, that can be challenged. And that's all we owed this man. This murderer was owed a fair trial. He was given this fair trial. Now it's up to the jury to decide his fate. It's very sad, Rick.
Okay, let me jump in and ask Bob Massey a question, because we now know a little bit about the jury instructions, what the judge will tell the jury before they go back in to start deliberating this penalty phase.
Yes.
They're not allowed to take into account sympathy for Scott Peterson's family. Is that right?
It is right, and yesterday in the courtroom there was quite a discussion, of course, between Mr. Garagos and the judge said this jury instruction is going in. This is the law, which sort of makes it interesting as to that's been the entire impact of many of the witnesses, not only, of course, the family members, but also the friends that came up and testified, Rick. So one might ask, well, what mitigating circumstances has been introduced to this jury that's going to allow Mr. Garagos to argue this case? And he's going to have to walk it very, very close here, because the judge has been very, very clear that he's not going to allow this type of testimony.
He may not have much material, and I'm concerned that in the absence of any real substance, most of America thinks that justice needs to be meted out quickly, and whether or not sitting in a jail for the rest of your life or actually enduring a death is worse is up to this jury. It's a very significant and very sad, if you would, for both families.
Let me ask David a final question. We're running out of time. In your experience, how difficult is it for a jury, even after they've convicted someone of double homicide, to then go in and decide to put that person to death?
It's very difficult. However, the most ominous side for the defense, Rick, is seeing this jury's stoic and stone-faced reaction to this highly charged emotional testimony. I believe they have their minds made up. I believe they have Scott Peterson marked for death at this point, because there is no way they can overcome the horrific murders of two innocent people who happen to have been Scott's wife and Scott's unborn child.
David Wohl, Mayor Michael Wilds, Bob Massey out in Redwood City. Guys, thanks very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you,
Coming up, there are dozens of reality shows out there, but one of them helped to save a life. Wait till you hear this story. Coming up.
I can assure you the bank's closing costs are very competitive. I'll just open these blinds to let in a little extra light.
Consolidate bills and lower your monthly payments now with a no closing cost home equity loan from Ditech.com.
That's impossible!
Get the cash you need now from Ditech.com.
Lost another loan to Ditech.
Log on to Ditech.com or call 1-800-DITECH-1.
Hand me down the walking cane, hand me down my hat.